Urgent Dallas Cowboys fans, do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel because here we bring you daily videos with the latest Dallas Cowboys updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Hey there, fellow Cowboys fans. Today, we're diving deep into a major turning point for our beloved Dallas Cowboys. A move that sent shock waves through the NFL community and could very well define the future of this franchise. If you've been following the Cowboys over the past few seasons, you know that their defensive coordinator situation has been anything but stable. And now with the recent firing of Matt Everfluh, the team is once again looking for a new leader to steer that side of the ball. But what does this mean for us? How will this impact our season, and who might be the next defensive mastermind to take the reins? Stick with me because I'm about to unpack every detail, give you the full context, and analyze what this could mean for the Cowboys moving forward. Let's start with the big news itself. The Cowboys have officially parted ways with Matt Everfluh, and this decision has been met with both relief and excitement among the fan base. Everfluh, who was brought in to replace previous coordinators, faced considerable challenges in implementing his defensive philosophy, and the results on the field reflected that struggle. After another season marred by inconsistency and some costly breakdowns, Jerry Jones, the ever-controversial owner and general manager, decided it was time for a change. The fact that this firing came so early in the offseason is telling. It indicates a sense of urgency and a desire to get the right person in place before the team ramps up for next year's campaign. Now, this isn't just a routine coaching shakeup. It's part of a long-standing pattern that's been unfolding over the last few seasons. Since 2020, the Cowboys have cycled through a series of defensive coordinators, each bringing their own philosophies, schemes, and personalities. And yet, despite those changes, the results have often fallen short of expectations. Why? Because the core issues have often been rooted in personnel execution, scheme fit, or perhaps even a lack of stability at the top. But this time, it appears Jerry Jones and the front office are serious about making a strategic, impactful hire to elevate the defense. What makes this situation particularly intriguing is the pattern of hiring former head coaches or assistants with significant NFL experience. Historically, the Cowboys' approach has been to bring in guys who have been at the top of the coaching ladder, names like Mike Nolan, Rob Morinelli, and others. But now there's a shift, a potential move toward a different kind of candidate, one with a diverse background and perhaps a fresh perspective. Specifically, NFL insider Albert Breer from CCOM has been reporting on the ongoing search, mentioning some familiar names in league circles like Raheem Morris, Brian Flores, and Jeff Ulrich. All of these candidates have strong credentials and have worked with top-tier defenses in recent years. Morris, for example, has been a respected defensive coach with stints as a head coach and coordinator known for his aggressive schemes and ability to adapt. Flores, of course, is a well-known name, having built a reputation as the defensive mind behind the Patriots dynasty, and then as a head coach himself with the Miami Dolphins. Ulrich, meanwhile, has been a rising star in NFL coaching circles, especially with his work on the 49ers defense. But here's where things get really interesting. Amidst these familiar names, a dark horse candidate has emerged. Someone you might not expect, but who could have a huge impact if brought into the fold. That is Matt Patricia, the three-time Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots, currently serving as the defensive coordinator at Ohio State. Yes, you heard that right. Patricia, who is often associated with Bill Belichick's highly disciplined, complex defensive schemes, is now working at the college level. But don't let that fool you. His resume is extensive, and his experience includes a stint as the head coach of the Detroit Lions, where he struggled to a 13-29-1 record. Still, his defensive acumen, especially his understanding of complex schemes and his ability to develop line play, makes him a compelling candidate. So, what's the big picture here? First, let's analyze the implications of this potential hire for the Cowboys defense. The team has always been built on a strong front seven with players like Micah Parsons leading the charge. Parsons, by the way, has been nothing short of spectacular, a disruptive force who can line up on the edge or inside, and his versatility has been crucial to the team's success. But even with Parsons' brilliance, the defense has struggled at times in coverage and against the run, especially when schemes aren't executed perfectly. That's where a defensive coordinator with a precise, disciplined approach could make a real difference. If the Cowboys go with someone like Brian Flores or Raheem Morris, they'd be leaning on proven NFL commodities, guys who have been through the grind, faced high-power defenses, and know how to adapt on the fly. Flores especially has been praised for his innovative schemes, aggressive blitz packages, and ability to maximize talent. His tenure with the Dolphins saw moments of brilliance, though consistency was sometimes elusive. Morris, with his background as a head coach and his experience in Tampa Bay, brings a similar blend of tactical intelligence and leadership. But if the Cowboys decide to roll the dice on Matt Patricia, that would signal a different strategic approach. Perhaps a desire to implement a more complex Patriot-style defense emphasizing disguised zone concepts and a disciplined secondary. That could be a gain share, especially if they can leverage Parsons' versatility and the talent in the secondary like Trayvon Diggs. The key question becomes, can Patricia adapt what he's known for at the NFL level to the unique personnel of the Cowboys? And how quickly can he implement his scheme and get the players on the same page? It's also worth considering the dynamics of the coaching staff and how new coordinators tend to influence overall team culture. The Cowboys have always prided themselves on a tough, resilient identity. But there's been criticism in recent years that the defense sometimes lacks discipline or fails to capitalize on turnovers. A new coordinator with a fresh philosophy, whether it's aggressive, complex, or innovative, could inject new life into that side of the ball. And let's not forget the defensive success of this team is critical if they want to contend for a deep playoff run. The NFC is stacked, and teams like the Eagles, 49ers, and even the Lions are formidable. To beat those teams, the Cowboys need a defense that can adjust, pressure the quarterback, and contain explosive offenses. Now, let's take a step back and analyze the broader historical context. Over the past decade, the Cowboys have often been criticized for their defensive inconsistency. Even during their most successful seasons, such as 2014 and 2016, the defense was a mixed bag, sometimes dominant, sometimes poorest. The 2023 season was no different. Despite having some talented players, the scheme and coaching adjustments seemed to falter at critical moments. Micah Parsons in particular has been a bright spot, earning Pro Bowl honors and establishing himself as one of the league's premier pass rushers. His presence alone has elevated the defense, but even he cannot do it all by himself. Looking at the team's recent history, the Cowboys have often been caught in a cycle, a new coordinator, a new scheme, some flashes of brilliance, but not enough consistency. The hiring of Everful was seen as a move to bring a disciplined scheme-oriented coach, but perhaps his system didn't mesh well with the existing personnel, or maybe the players just didn't fully buy into it. That's a common challenge in NFL coaching, finding the perfect fit between scheme, personnel, and coaching philosophy. From a statistical standpoint, the Cowboys' defense ranked around middle of the pack in 2023, but with some glaring weaknesses in third down conversions allowed and red zone efficiency. These are critical areas for any championship-caliber team. Turning those stats around hinges on leadership and scheme, which is why the coaching hire is so pivotal. The right defensive coordinator can turn those numbers around by creating a scheme that maximizes talent and minimizes mistakes. As we analyze the potential impact of this coaching change on the current season, it's clear that the Cowboys are at a crossroads. If they hire someone like Flores or Morris, they'll likely emphasize aggressive, versatile defenses that can adapt to different offensive styles. If they go with Patricia, we might see a more disciplined Patriots-inspired scheme designed to confuse quarterbacks and generate pressure. The timing of this hire is crucial. The team needs to be ready for off-season workouts, training camp, and the grind of 17 regular season games. The chemistry and understanding between the players and their new coordinator could determine whether the Cowboys are playoff contenders or just another team fighting for a wildcard spot. Let's also consider the other factors at play. The front office, led by Jerry Jones, has historically been very involved in coaching decisions. His approach often favors experienced, high-profile hires, but sometimes it's about finding the right fit rather than the biggest name. The next defensive coordinator will need to work closely with head coach Brian Scott, whose offensive background has been well documented, but who now faces the challenge of building a complementary defense. In terms of upcoming games and rivalries, the impact of a new defensive coordinator could be felt right from the start. The Cowboys' schedule includes some tough NFC matchups. Games against the Eagles, 49ers, and Lions will test their new schemes and coaching staff. And in these crucial moments, having a coordinator who can make quick adjustments and inspire confidence is vital. It's not just about X's and O's. It's about leadership, motivation, and a clear defensive identity. Now, let's talk about the fans and media reactions. The Dallas fan base is passionate, sometimes impatient, but always hopeful. The firing of Everful was celebrated by many who saw it as a step toward fixing a defense that has underperformed at times. Still, skepticism remains. Can the Cowboys find the right person quickly? Will they swing for a high-profile name, or take a risk on someone less known but potentially more innovative? The rumors swirling around the NFL coaching carousel suggest that the team is exploring all options, and that's a good thing. Sometimes the best moves are the ones that aren't immediately obvious. Looking ahead, the outlook for the Cowboys' defense depends heavily on this decision. If they make a smart hire, one that aligns with their personnel and strategic goals, they could see a significant improvement, potentially catapulting them into serious Super Bowl contention. Conversely, a misstep could prolong their struggles and keep them from reaching the next level. The NFL is a league of adjustments, and the right coaching staff can make all the difference. So, what can we expect in the near future? Well, the Cowboys will likely conduct a thorough search, interviewing multiple candidates, assessing their schemes, leadership qualities, and fit with the existing roster. The deadline for announcing their new defensive coordinator might be sooner rather than later, especially as off-season programs begin, and teams want their schemes in place for the start of training camp. The next few weeks will be critical, not just for the coaching staff, but for the entire season's outlook. In conclusion, this entire situation underscores how pivotal coaching decisions are in the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys are betting on finding the right person to turn their defense into a strength rather than a liability. With talent like Micah Parsons leading the charge, and a roster filled with promising players, the foundation is there. It's now about building a scheme that maximizes potential, instills discipline, and adapts to the league's evolving offenses. The choices made in this coaching search could very well define whether the Cowboys become true contenders or remain caught in mediocrity. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Who do you think should be the next defensive coordinator? Do you believe Patricia Flores or Morris can bring the change we desperately need? Or do you have another name in mind? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters not just to me, but to the future of this team. Remember, this is a pivotal moment, and your voice adds to the conversation. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive into the Cowboys coaching carousel. I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insights, so stay tuned and keep that Cowboys spirit alive. The journey to another Super Bowl run is far from over, and this coaching change might just be the spark we needed. Until next time, go Cowboys. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead. It's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Now, wrapping up, let's reflect on what this means for our team's identity and future. The Cowboys have always been a franchise that prides itself on resilience, grit, and a winning mentality. This coaching change, especially on the defensive side, could be the catalyst for a new era. Micah Parsons, with his extraordinary talent, is already a cornerstone, but he needs a scheme that truly unleashes his full potential. The same applies to Trayvon Diggs and the secondary. The right defensive mind can turn those individual talents into a cohesive dominant unit. Moreover, considering the broader NFL landscape, the Cowboys are entering a phase where competitive parity is higher than ever. The Eagles, 49ers, and Lions have set a high bar with their advanced schemes, talented rosters, and strong coaching staffs. To match or surpass them, Dallas must make strategic, well-thought-out decisions, especially on defense. The hire they make now could be the difference between a deep playoff run and an early exit. Additionally, the NFL is increasingly leaning toward versatile, hybrid defenses that can adjust on the fly, a trend that favors coaches like Flores or Morris, who have demonstrated adaptability. On the other hand, a coach like Patricia might bring a more disciplined Patriot-style approach, emphasizing disguise and precision. Both philosophies have their merits, but the key is to match the scheme to the personnel, and that's the challenge the Cowboys front office now faces. In terms of next steps, we should watch closely as the Cowboys conduct interviews, evaluate their options, and ultimately make their decision. The coaching carousel is heating up, and the clock is ticking. The off-season is short, and the time to get these changes in place is now. The impact of this decision will resonate throughout the upcoming season, shaping everything from game plans to player development. So, as we gear up for what promises to be an exciting off-season, remember that every move counts. The Dallas Cowboys are at a crossroads, and their choice of defensive coordinator will play a crucial role in determining whether they can reclaim their status as NFC contenders or remain on the fringe. It's a high-stakes game, and we as fans get to witness this pivotal moment unfold. Thanks again for joining me today in this comprehensive analysis. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts. I want to hear your predictions, your hopes, and your concerns. The future is bright, and with the right coaching hire, the Cowboys can write a new chapter of dominance. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Cowboys. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Dallas Cowboys. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news.